This is Papa Smurf. You're listening to Our Lifestyle, the podcast, with ODB and the Mayor.
Yo, it's ODB, and I want to let everyone know before we jump into this episode, a big thank you to Scrapin' the Coast, the team behind Custom Car Show Productions. It's going to be an amazing 20th anniversary. They're lining up awesome vehicles already to showcase at one of the biggest, baddest shows in the country. It's June 24th, 25th, 26th in Biloxi. Scrapin', that's Scrapin' with an I-N, the Coast.com. Big ups to the family. We hope to see you out there. Much more to come on this famed show. Also, don't want to forget about Mini Truck Showdown family. Their next event on paper is going to be February of 2023, and that is going to be out there in Bakersfield, California. So much more coming on Kern County Showdown. Keep it tuned to OLP, and thank you so much to our title sponsors. Big ups. We'll see you at Scraping the Coast in less than 2 months. Wait, was that Hank?
Dude, I seen Hank this past weekend.
Yo, it's our Lifestyle Podcast, episode 289. I cannot believe it, and I just want to thank our title sponsor, Custom Car Show Productions. You heard at the top, we're about a month out to the 20th anniversary, Scraping the Coast. Go to scrapingthecoast.com for more information. We'll be there. OLP will be representing. But first, before we get into that, Miggity Mike the Mayor, he's in the house because I heard you. Dude, I heard you were partying with Hank, and supposedly someone swan dove off a battleship, but apparently no necks were broken, right?
Definitely no necks were broken diving off of that battleship, but from all the vehicles that were there, the neck breakers were, oh man, there was a lot of neck breaking going on this past weekend at Battle Alabama. Some badass rides. The quality was unbelievable. I mean, it was packed. It was a packed jam show. It was badass. It was awesome. I had a great time. And, of course, got to hang out with the Aftermath guys and girls. So we had an awesome time, Joey, and it was the Tom and Joey show all the way from Arizona. And of course, we can't forget featuring Jeremy, better known, AKA the real Hank Norris. I mean, dude, we had a freaking blast, dude. It was a great time, and got to meet Lucky from Canada. And congratulations, Lucky. He got his NC logo.
Got patched in, I heard. Was it did they have the baseball bats swinging on his ass? You know what I mean?
Bro, they had whips and chains and baseball bats.
Whoa, hold on. Wait, I'm not into that. You're into that weird stuff.
Well, dude, they beat him in right, bro. I mean, they beat him in right. You can't go wrong with the way that they treated him and treated him, and made him feel as if he was one. That's for sure.
Yeah, we mean that with all with all jokingness. Lucky being a former guest, good dude, man, just a genuine guy. So Lucky, I know he listens every week. Thank you so much for the support, dude. Mike, that sounds like you guys just had a blast, man.
Dude, couldn't ask for a better weekend. Hot as hell, but hey, it is what it is. And I tell you what, one of the highlights was seeing Shane Andrews' Nissan Frontier there in person after that 2 years of building this damn truck, and it is an absolute beauty. The highlights of his family and the military, and it is such a badass truck. And so definitely, you guys, when you have a chance to check that truck out, make sure you guys definitely check it out because it is badass.
Yeah, we got to get him back on. Big salute to Shane and his family. He was on recently, of course, the build-up, and I know that some things maybe didn't work out, but this worked out good for him. And listen, before, we're still kind of on the overview, but we got to give a big thumbs up to Craig and Rosalind. I mean, I know these two, Craig in particular, I can speak for. I know he's been around the scene a long time. They've hustled hard. There was obviously an outpouring of support on social media, people thanking them for a wonderful show. And I would encourage anybody, get out to the shows. They put the work in. They go to a lot of shows. That helps them promote their own event, and they bring in some, I want to say the talent, so to speak. These folks that have amazing rides, and of course they've got their different segmented areas, and that's a cool concept. So pretty cool stuff. Big shout out to them. Again, I saw it all over social media, and that's fantastic stuff. Mike, on this episode overview, obviously we just talked briefly there about Battle in Bama. That was last weekend. That's every May. We were anticipating having another short show, and I know some of the folks are like, damn, what's going on? We'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later. Have been trying to link up with some good guests. I mean, some legendary folks, and just our part, their part. It's just always, that's the hardest part of doing what we do. So we're kind of working through that. But Mike, I know you've got just a shortened time. I just want to give a huge shout out to Joey at Get Decked. Okay, I know we typically talk about Joey a little bit later in the episode, but listen, man, Mike, he continues to come through, and keep me honest, Mike, he can take a photo or artwork from the fine folks that, like, as an example, Graphic Disorder, and he could put that artwork on a skate deck. Ain't that right?
Oh, absolutely. Anything you want on a skate deck, he can make it happen. So definitely hit Joey up. And the good thing is we just got another run of our skate decks, of our artwork skate decks. Just picked them up from him at Battle in Bama. So we will have all those skate decks available at Scraping the Coast. So make sure you guys are there and picking up those skate decks, and don't wait, because those skate decks sell out pretty damn quick. Almost pretty much every show we do, those things are gone.
Yeah, and thanks to everyone that supports us. Mike, I had to coach you all weekend on the drive home because I didn't want you to get it pulled over, because if the state troopers see those decks back there, they immediately know that's some dope. You know what I mean? And I don't want you to get hauled in. You know what I mean? As much as I may talk some smack here and there, like, I need you at the shows, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're like the bean counter. You're keeping the whole thing going.
Yeah. No, definitely. I definitely, I had them hidden really well.
Good.
We made a special compartment up underneath the front bench seat of banana hammock there.
Right.
And I definitely want to congratulate and thank everybody for making sure that they got the nickname right for banana hammock, for my truck. I've officially
oh boy,
drum roll. I have officially gotten rid of the name Gone Postal, and it's just banana hammock. I've given in because otherwise nobody even know who the hell whose truck that is, because
dude.
So yeah, dude.
Even I haven't. I know you're kind of like Ice Cube. You can sing that song. I ain't got no haters. But if you did, I know that they even know. My intel says they even know the name of the truck. So good stuff, Mike. I mean, dude. Again, thanks to Joey, you can go to getdecked.bigcartel.com. You can order one of his banners. But most importantly, if you look up Get Decked on Facebook or Instagram, it's Joey Dilworth. You can send him a message. Don't delay. If you're a show promoter, maybe you even want to just do the artwork on a deck, do a limited run to see if they sell, or you can do your awards. Obviously we love Welch's Chop Shop. There's plenty out there for everyone, but Joey could even do some awards. He does them for us. Thanks to Joey at Get Decked. So, Mike, last episode recap, it was refreshing, dude. I know sometimes people think, well, hey, ODB says let's keep the pedal stomped. Listen, the pedal's always stomped here. Like, Mike was at a show last weekend. I mean, Mike, think real quick. Think through this. The last several weeks, look at the run that you've been on. So keep me honest. It was something like mini Nats, and then you went to a local show, right, or something, and then now you went to Battle in Bama, and now you're going to be going to Relax It in the Park, right? It was something like that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What do they say? No breaks.
No breaks, and that's part of it. So I know I love when people they've commented and they're like, yeah, but you said no breaks. I'm like, hey, 100%. I'm also kind of over here with some of the puppet strings trying to work some other things. that Dre had that one song, like when I had, I'm in the lab with the pen and the pad, you know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to get some other things kind of going too that kind of works into the OLP umbrella. Mike's out there hitting shows, a couple that, I've been to, like for instance, this weekend. Mike's going to get a chance to go up and support DJ Mays and the entire RA fam up there. But last week, Mike, you were kicking it with Aftermath, right? Doing what you do, showing your truck, right? So in between the regular job, the side business, the truck club, helping OLP, with our success here, dude, I appreciate you, bro.
Oh, absolutely, brother. And it was, like I said before, man, it definitely did not disappoint. It'd been some time since I've been to Battle in Bama, and we made it. And obviously, my boy Keith rode up with us, me and Shannon. And what would I do without the wonderful, the greatest Mrs. Mayor? She's always down for the cause. So we had a really good time, and beautiful weather. And
yeah, be careful.
And,
be careful saying down for the cause around Hank, because then he could maybe misconstrue that. You know what I mean?
Bro, I tell you what, man, it was, like I said, it was good seeing Joey and Tom, and of course, I consider him like their stepson, and Jeremy, aka Hank Norris.
Yep. Yeah, and it's we don't want to get into we don't get into like the sexual type talk, but I think they've adopted, and I know where some of your minds are going. It's not that. I think they did adopt him somehow legally on paper, so that he has their benefits and stuff. You know what I mean? Because they're good friends.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And
just kidding.
Tell you what, they kept him fed. They kept him, well hydrated all weekend.
Clothed, I hope.
Yeah, clothed. Yep.
Oh, man, good times. Well, the last episode, again, we kept it short and sweet. We're kind of at least planning that here. We'll give a couple updates in a minute. But we have to thank, for our last episode recap, Lone Star Throwdown. If you haven't heard, they're going to have another show next year, July 2023. It's going to be same kind of theme. It's going to be Classic Truck Showdown. But Lone Star Throwdown, one of our favorite shows, is the last weekend every February in Conroe. And they also sell merchandise through Garage Gear, and that's cool, Mike, because you can even go up to the Garage Gear clothing booth at different shows and pick up your officially licensed, not the stuff on the outside of the stadium, dog, right, with the guy pushing the grocery cart. We're talking the officially licensed merchandise of Lone Star Throwdown, the metal signs, the shirts, the stickers, you name it, LoneStarThrowdown.com. If you're not there next year, Mike, at the end of February, that's not good for the show goers, because the show is that great. They're going to miss out. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, but bro, you can save like $5 if you buy it from the guy out in the shopping cart outside of the show, bro.
Does that got the one wash guarantee? So you wash it once, and all the stuff's gone. His Graphic Disorder is not printing those.
No. Actually, it was called Graphic No Order.
Yeah. Oh, that's the guy I sent $252 to on Instagram through PayPal, and I haven't heard back from him. I swear it looked like Brand Shop. I don't know.
Dude, he had all the same artwork, because I think I don't remember if I sent that much money though.
Friends and family, right? That's the only way to do it. Just kidding, guys. This is our public service announcement. Don't do that, right, Mike? I mean, wait.
Don't do that, guys.
Wait,
don't do like ODB and send $250 to Graphic Non-Disorder or whoever it was.
Well, I did it at Mini Nats when I grabbed Mike's phone. I did it from his PayPal. You know what I'm saying? So I'm cool. But I didn't mean to tell you that, because I was hoping if I made it like Acura Ryan, if I would have made it to the Kentucky Derby and I would have doubled up, then I could have maybe paid you back, But I guess we'll just call it even.
Yeah, no big deal. No big deal.
LoneStarThrowdown.com, y'all. So, Mike, before we let you go, I know you got to peel away, do some stuff for Ashley. Dude, we got the trivia with Mike, and I got one question for you. Are you ready, players?
Okay, players, now it's time to get serious.
Bling, 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 bling.
Dude, this movie kind of restarted a beloved franchise that started many years ago, kind of comics, a hit TV show. June 23rd, 1989 kind of ties into our 289 theme, right, for this episode 289. Of course, in the United States, it was June 23rd, 89 is when it was launched. It was directed by Tim Burton. And last week, I mean, this is the biggest hint I can give you. Last week, you mentioned a movie that was directed by Tim Burton, okay? Last week when we were talking about 288 or 1988, he also, his next movie that he directed, if I remember correctly, after the movie you mentioned last week, was this movie that we're talking about. This, so think like 1989. It was all over. I think McDonald's cups. Probably, I didn't look this up. Probably the biggest movie of '89. People.
Is this the movie that was filmed out in Orlando?
What's that?
Was it filmed in Orlando?
I don't know. I don't know about that.
Oh shit. Okay.
So, the cool thing is, this movie has been remade many times in different versions and things like that. But everyone kind of says the guy that played the main character was like their favorite. This guy, you know what I mean? And I can't say, he could have been an animal. I don't know if it's an animal, a mammal, or really.
Been an animal.
Yeah, it could have been. I could have been a Hank Norris, like that kind of animal. But, you think back to like '89, and I just remember, how cool it would have been to be like in that car, and just be zooming down the street. I don't think it was a 6.0, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Does he come flying out of caves?
I mean, I know where you're going, Indiana Jones, like Temple of Doom type stuff. There were some bats, I think, in that one. Or, yeah, there were some animals in that one.
Oh, yeah, there was some animals in that one. Okay. All right. Does he, so is there like a sign that goes up in the sky when they need them?
We're not talking Wu-Tang. When the Wu-Tang are called.
Wu-Tang ain't nothing to fuck with.
Yeah, when they're called, the sign goes up. I mean, I guess you could kind of say that.
Okay, yeah. So Wu-Tang. Okay, so no Wu-Tang. Man. Well, I can tell you this. I was always my favorite of all time was always Michael Keaton. He was the best by far.
Yes, he was. I think you're talking Mr. Mom. Is that what we're talking about? That's a great movie.
Yeah, Mr. Mom was awesome. It was great. And then, oh no, I think I was going to say Money Pit, but I think that was Tom Hanks, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Remember when they bought that big old huge house and they fell through the hole and they were sitting there hanging from the second floor. Yeah. But I don't know, but Catwoman has always been one of my favorites, and that's what you're referring to, right? That was the movie Catwoman.
Yeah. I think if that's your final answer, we can deduct the Ticky Willies.
Dude, when she's all in that tight black leather, I'm down for the cause.
I know you're into that kind of stuff,
Oh yeah, absolutely. But dude, definitely Batman, and the is the final answer. And I think I'm correct. I hope I'm correct.
Yes, you are. Ding, 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 tick mark. And here's the crazy thing. When they casted Michael Keaton, a lot of people were weary. They're like, man, really? He's not going to be right for the part. Most thought about it like a comedic, actor, right, of him. But Michael Keaton, based upon his role in the movie you mentioned last week, which is all-time classic Beetlejuice, it made the same director, kind of that dark film, settle for his choice. Boom, Michael Keaton. And it's crazy to think that you look back and you go, damn, it's pretty cool, man. It's a good movie. Good flick. I got to go back and watch that one again. It's been a minute.
I was about to say, there's been so many of them. So, but at the same time, I still think Michael Keaton was the best one of them all. He was always my favorite.
Real deal, man. Trivia with Mike brought to you by our family at AccuAir. Mike, dude, I've been blown away lately on YouTube watching some of the AccuAir videos, even the old ones. There's the one with Wee Man riding in a Impala airbagged. I mean, there's some cool stuff out there. AccuAir, follow them on YouTube. They are ramping up new content. And don't forget, Mike, they've got merch. So stickers for your fridge, air fresheners for your ride, or shirts for your back. AccuAir.com for that content. And then lastly, Mike, if you've got AccuAir on your vehicle, go to AccuAir.com, and you can go under AccuAir Life, and you can upload photos, right? So I think that's a cool thing. They really embrace it, and that's how they get the content by you submitting your rides through their website. So pretty cool stuff. And Mike, you know EBGD, one of my favorite shows, Eastbound Get Down. AccuAir was on board last year, and I'm hearing they'll be hitting some switches over there in the greater Daytona area next January.
Yes, sir. And actually, it's kind of funny you mentioned that because I just got done talking to Ryan, and they are definitely in and down for the cause again for Eastbound Get Down. They're at Destination Daytona, and they are coming on board to be the stage sponsor, the main stage sponsor once again. And of course, DJ Mays, that's the home for DJ Mays. So AccuWear is in, and don't forget, guys, that's Eastbound Get Down, January 13th through the 15th, 2023, at Destination Daytona. Pre-registration will open up August 31st.
Yeah, I can't wait, Mike. And I will see who I can kind of wrangle up this week. A couple of, just our OLP foot soldiers. I know Craig Braid, he was out there relaxing on the river. There were other events going around the country, including, of course, as we said, Battle in Bama. But there's a lot of good people out there. We want to continue giving content updates, and we will through the podcast. Of course, I'm continuing to ramp up YouTube, so that's also going to be where you're going to see more stuff. But, Mike, I know you got to roll. Big ups to Ashley. I know this is a great time of year for you guys. Of course, she's already graduated from, she got her, GMed or GED. She got that a couple years, or how do you say that? She graduated or something?
She graduated.
But now she's over in, the other school. What do you call that? Like grade 13 or 14?
Yeah. She's in her 15th grade.
15th grade. So, that's coming along good. And I know you guys are going to be spending time this weekend.
Just finished her 15th grade, and she's going into her 16th grade.
Yeah, if she ever needs help, I tell Preston all the time, if you ever need help with like homework and stuff, she can call me. I'm kind of like, I'll help her out, okay? I'll help her with her stuff.
You help her?
Yeah.
Well,
I write papers for like $5.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Are they complete or just half or what?
I mean, it's about I do a page, $5 a page.
Oh, $5 a page. Okay, that makes more sense.
Right, and I usually do about 2 pages, so that was kind of my limit, But I use big font, real big font, so it's not that many words, But technicalities, you know what I mean?
Oh, I hear that. Brother.
But listen, I appreciate it. You've been going to a lot of shows, and you got a lot going on, and you're peeling out to go to relaxing in the park on Thursday, Friday?
Actually heading up. Me and Chuck Dog are flying out Friday morning, 8 a.m. out of Fort Lauderdale. And then good old Dizzy, our boy Dizzy's picking us up at the airport. So can't wait, man. Look forward to it.
Well, dude, have a good rest of the night. I'm gonna get sideways and figure the rest of this episode out. Take care, Miggity Mike.
Peace.
Yeah, so always good linking up with Mike, and I knew that his schedule was going to be tight this week, and that's the cool thing about podcasting, that it can be fluid. We can do what we got to do, and then we can keep it going, and that's the key. So let's continue the episode and kind of get through everything here that I wanted to cover. So next we got the scene updates, and I have seen our homie, Riggedy Ron Perkins from Hammered Weekend Wear. He's been hustling on a new Mini Toyota Tacoma. One of my favorite, you guys know, mods, the roll-down back window, was looking awesome in that truck, and I can't wait to have Ron on to talk a little bit about it and kind of what maybe inspired him to get going with this project. So if you're not friends with Ron Perkins, make sure you follow him on Facebook. He has really been posting some killer updates, so I think it's pretty awesome. Now, something else you talk about awesome for our mini truck scene. We talked recently about Chris Billy Bob Mole and the success that he had with his truck landing on a cover, the second cover, I believe, for the truck. Street Trucks was first, and then Truck Hub magazine now is running it on the cover. But Billy Bob also recently made a trip to Dubai, the Middle East, and pretty cool stuff. He mentioned in one of his posts, you don't want to turn down opportunities, and he did have a pretty unique opportunity, it seems, to go over to a very rich part of the world and do some work, my understanding, related to paint and body. So big ups to the homie, and have fun, be safe over there, and hopefully you'll be streaming OLP on your way back, if not during your time there. Brent Teague had posted where to start. This was a pretty awesome weekend. Day one was set up for Subculture and an awesome meal. Chris Snowden, good to see you again, buddy. And he kind of went on to talk about, and then they had posted thanks for the hospitality and letting everyone kind of throw a party with Subculture. And there was photos of a vehicle being logoed, which I think is great. So Subculture, we'll talk more about that club hopefully in the next few weeks. And the cool thing about it is, although they may not get the lion's share of, the kudos that we see in the scene, I really dig that club. They've always kind of remained small, and they have a lot of great people. I think I recently mentioned it when we were talking about the Time Machine merchandise that was available. The cool thing is that, with Charles, that tight-knit between him and Lance, and then all of the other great members, there's just a good group of kinfolk. So pretty cool stuff to see, another vehicle being logoed and them, growing from what I can tell. Now, this was pretty cool. If you follow Sean Rose, we've talked a lot about spreading the love, but there was a video that was posted, and in the video, it shows them giving. There's NC members. I know David DeCorver's there. A bunch of NC members, and they present the money to the individual, and I just think it's amazing. It goes back to Sean Rose doing so much good with David Miggity and others, right? A lot of people open their wallets to give and give and give, but without someone leading the charge, like Sean Rose, like David Miggity, sometimes then there's not, there's not a collection of money. There's not auctions and things like that. I know Jason Bell played a big role in all of that from Mininat. So let's continue to support those guys, like spreading the love, because it is very, very awesome thing they're doing. I know Justin Wyatt, he had posted he's getting anxious to get his truck back together and cruising, but he said patience is a virtue, I suppose. So big ups to him. Shameless plug. I continue to update the OLP digital show calendar, but if there's an event that I'm missing, let me know. I know I've had some show promoters reach out, but speaking of Justin Wyatt and crew, I did add the East Tennessee Showdown event to the calendar, and it's that Friday and Saturday, so the 24th of June and the 25th. Now, it's the same weekend as Scraping the Coast, but obviously there's going to be people up in that region that may not want to come down to the south or that choose to go to East Tennessee Showdown. A great show. So we did go ahead and add that. So cool stuff there. Speaking of Scraping the Coast, it was awesome that Lauren Miller, and she had shared all 4 pieces of artwork in one post. And I love when they do this because sometimes they'll trickle out. But when you see them all together, you just go, man, like, I need 4 banners, like, seriously. So they've got the nod to her pops, one of our good friends, Greg, who passed away. They've got the Lifted in the Lowrider shirt, which is cool. It's got, like, this neon sign vibe in the middle. Then they have the topless K5 with the famous dually with graphics on it. And then they have the red bottom truck that was recently on the cover of Street Trucks with the scraping kind of logo. They all say 20th anniversary, or at least 3 of them do. And it's pretty cool to think that show continues to carry on, even with Greg being gone. There's a good cast of characters behind it, and hopefully next week we'll run some audio with them to talk about the lead up to the 20th anniversary of Scraping the Coast. And if you think about how that area 20 years ago was kind of decimated, I'm trying to remember exactly. Let me look this up really quick. Hurricane Katrina was like August of 2005. So, that area was just really ravaged from storms and all the issues that they had. So it's cool to see so many people come down there to the Biloxi, the coast, right, and support the truck scene. So good stuff. Now, this just couples in. Sean Rose had mentioned that we're looking for our next recipient of Spreading the Love. David and I, for the next couple of months, will be attending separate shows. If you'd like to nominate someone, let them know. And pretty cool stuff, again, going back to the Spreading the Love and the good vibe there. Now, I did want to mention Michael Ellard, one of my severed brothers from Down Under. He recently put together a very cool project, and it's always cool to me to see folks put together different kind of projects because, so often the same stuff kind of gets built, and that's not a bad thing because, I love S10s, I love Lincolns, I love the stuff that we see lots of, but this car is something that I wouldn't really think like, would this be something that you'd see at a car show here? Now, certainly not maybe in the mini truck scene in the U.S., but I know there's the whole JDM and there's all that stuff, and I don't even really know much about it, but Michael Ellard on Instagram is image1, so image word, IMAGE, number 1. Finally finished my little Corolla. The car had crazy amount of attention at MotorX. The car is built to drive, and it will. Got to thank my crew, and he kind of goes on to give a lot of thanks there and tagged a bunch of people. And when I look at the car, again, it shows what I think of is like, Chip Foose and how much attention to detail and how things flow. And that's what, Michael and team have done here. Everything from the interior to the exterior to the license plate on it being kind of color matched. It's just a really cool vehicle. And again, this isn't even my normal cup of tea in terms of stuff I follow or stuff that I'm into, but man, is the interior awesome. And it kind of just goes to show you, if you execute something right, like he did here, I go, man, tip of the cap, man. So Michael is a person that I've wanted to have on. He's been on our list. I haven't made that happen, but we got to get Michael on at some point. For those that don't know, he had the Isuzu Holden, which we call the Isuzu Pup. He had that truck kind of in that, I know I'm going to mess it up, copper/maroon color in between that. And it was featured on Slammed website, but it also ran in Truckin. So I had an opportunity to do the write-up. The majority of it, I think Mike Alexander had edited some of it, but basically I did the write-up on it, and it's in my opinion, one of the baddest trucks ever built. Of course, we don't really get a chance to see it because we're here in the U.S. He did sell that truck, and obviously the guy doesn't stop, man. He built some very cool stuff. So Michael and all of our kinfolk that listen down there, Mark and so many others, tip of the cap, man. Brandon Cisco. Now, I want to get Brandon on. I know he's been on the other podcasts. He's a good dude. We love Missy. Brandon's one of my severed brothers, and he's just a good guy all around. He's an amazing talent. And he had posted that he had a really cool experience back in February. He had a friend, Benjamin Wood, who many of you know Benjamin. I don't know him too well. I know that he's tied in with, different productions for TV shows and stuff, my understanding. But Benjamin had asked him to come to New York for a month and help out on a build for a show. Brandon said it was a great experience, great bunch of guys at Dream Cars. New York was okay too, he said. But Robert Downey Jr., it kind of goes on with the screenshot to say, to restore a classic car, climate-focused Discovery Plus series. So pretty cool stuff. And again, Brandon Cisco, man, one of the best builders out there right now. His talent is unbelievable. I know he's been working on crew cabs, Chevys, and producing those. His name's been tied to so many high-end builds. He's been on shows before, even kind of behind the scenes. If you think of the extensive Texas Metal Show, helping with the dually that, was basically started as almost like just a couple pieces of rust, and they were able to build that cab and whatnot. So really good dude. And just super talented. So one of these days I'll get a chance to link up with the big homie. It's always real seeing him at shows, and appreciate the friendship there. But those were a couple of the things that I wanted to cover. Although yeah, I think that was it for this week. The scene updates brought to you by Garage Gear Clothing. Garage Gear Clothing is the only brand that I know of in the scene that has free shipping all year long in the U.S. So go to garagegearclothing.com. Get ready for the holidays. Maybe if it's a born day coming up, garagegearclothing.com will get you set because it's, again, free shipping on all US of A orders. Don't delay. And then don't forget, they're also on YouTube. So if you maybe don't have some extra change to buy a shirt, a hoodie, a Garage Gear, a child shirt, or whatnot, you could follow them on YouTube. Check out their videos. Lonnie does a fantastic job of going over the show coverage and whatnot and documenting these different shows. So tip of the cap. All right, key show update. So I mentioned before, really the first episode of each month is really when we're going to be a little bit heavy on the show updates, and then we'll keep it a little bit lighter because I know it's just like it's like a data dump of information. What I'll remind you is if you go to ourlifestylepodcast.com, on the left-hand side, not the drop-down menu, but underneath that, tap on official OLP show calendar, and then when that comes up, tap where it says click here. So if you're on a computer, you're going to click. If you're on your device, your iPhone or whatnot, you're going to tap here. It's going to pull up and ask if you want to subscribe. Now, I do understand that some people, although it does work for Android, for some reason, they're saying it doesn't work if you tap on it. If you email me, ourlifestylepodcast@gmail.com, I'll send you the direct link, and I've been told that works fine, okay? I wish there was an easier way to distribute this link, but basically what I do is I upload a calendar to iCloud, and when you subscribe to it, it's no different than subscribing to like a calendar for your favorite football team or like a holiday calendar for the national holidays and stuff. You can tap to filter that calendar on and off. So if you're looking to book a vacation or you're looking to figure out what shows, you can tap that on or off. The reason why I did it was, if you think about where we're at, we all love print, and we do sometimes occasionally see, like even from All Time Low magazine, we'll see a print calendar that will come out. The challenge is that oftentimes when we're looking to book a show, or we're like, man, what was that weekend again? Or you got a club mate that you've been trying to drag to a show for a while, and they always go, well, what shows are coming up? Well, we all don't keep up with this stuff and kind of eat, live, and breathe it. So this gives an opportunity for those to go out and be able to see all the shows. Now, I've added a ton. In the beginning, we were mostly doing it with folks that we partnered very closely with, but we've since opened that up, and it's just been a win-win for everyone. This weekend, we'll, of course, be at Made of Steel show in Dover. So that's that Friday, Saturday show. Now, Mike is going to gallivant up. Same weekend, we've talked about it at Relax It in the Park. That's up in Festus, Missouri. And then we did have Graham on recently that talked about rolling in the Red Rocks. That's going to be out west. So that's kind of the scope for this weekend. That's big stuff. So that's really where we want to kind of keep it. We're a month out, as I mentioned shortly ago, from Scraping the Coast. So as one of our title sponsors, we got to say we can't wait to get there. It's just it's an amazing venue. One thing that I love about it is you got the AC that you can go cool off. It's no secret that it's very, very hot there. And I know this year my plan is I get one of those neck things, I dunk it in some water, and I have that thing around my neck as I walk around outside because it gets that hot, okay? And then when you go inside, you get to cool off, you get to check with some of the vendors, you get to come by and chill at the OLP booth. But the inside is sold out. You can hit up Lauren Miller or scrapingthecoast.com for more information. Now, I did recently talk about Cruise to the Pines, so I know I've been kind of showing them a lot of love, and I want to, and we will have them on, especially now that they've reset their date. But they did post on Instagram, Cruise to the Pines, so I did want to mention this. They reinforced the pre-registration is temporarily reopened for the new date. So the new date is easy to remember. It's 10/1/22, right? So it's 10/1. If you missed out earlier, now's your chance. I believe it's a $250 cap on this show, and I know I saw that somewhere, but regardless, just go out to their Instagram. I'm sure they're on Facebook as well, but on Instagram, Cruise to the Pines, and it says Cruise Show After Party Camp. They even have a QR code to scan to register. And someone did ask, hey, if we're already registered, do we not need to re-register, correct? And, of course, they can say correct. All earlier registrations will stand for the new date, which is the easy way to do things. So pretty cool stuff. A tip of the cap to those kinfolk out there. They're always getting people together, and I love seeing it. The Key Show Update's brought to you by the West Coast Influence. Please, if you can, go out to minitruckfilm.com. You can order the Blu-ray or DVD, and believe it or not, it's a documentary-style documentary, whatever you want to call it, about the mini truck scene. We have been working closely with one of the key guys that is in that mini truck film, and hopefully he'll be a guest here in the next episode or two. So my fingers are crossed. I'm super excited for it. While you're out there, there are a few shirts left. You really have to kind of dig. But if you're a fan like we are, you can go out there and you'll see some of the classic shirts that they have. They do have the Datsun 620 mini truck Hot Wheel available as well for the die-cast junkies out there. They even have stickers. Actually, it says out of stock, so we'll have to see if they're going to get more of those. But minitruckfilm.com. All right, so the podcast update's got a big update for everyone. And number one, I want to say thanks to those that continue to leave. If you haven't left a rating, please do so. The rating system, I've seen ratings come in now through a lot of different platforms. So if you're on Pandora or Spotify or whatever, just look to see, can you leave a 5-star? I've seen some trickle in, and they don't all kind of flow into one database. I'll sometimes, go into like Spotify and I'll see like, oh, now we have, 10 or whatever. But it definitely helps. And because podcasting has grown so much, you have different outlets that are saying, hey, we want to embrace podcasting more, so let's, offer a rating system and these type of things. The big one is Apple Podcasts. It's just the way it is. And if you go to the pre-installed podcast app, if you're listening there, or maybe you listen on Spotify, but you want to go above and beyond and leave a rating, you can open on your iOS device the pre-installed podcast app. You can search OLP. You'll see it pop up, and then you can scroll down to the point that it will let you tap a rating, and we certainly appreciate that. If I click now, it looks like we have 266. And the last one was great podcast and great conversation make life better. And I may have read that one recently. So a lot of times someone will leave a 5-star. That helps us. If you want to write a review, that helps. You can even put A+. You can put anything. If you want to put your Instagram name, we'll shout you out. Thanks to all the support there. Now, by the time you hear this, the Time Machine merchandise would have been placed, the order itself, with Graphic Disorder. That's important because I know we get a lot of questions. It was a pre-sale. So what we do is we ran it to coincide where it covered 2 Fridays. Gives everyone a chance to order what they want. We submit the order, we pay for it, and then we're about a 2-week lead time before they print and ship it. They ship it to Mike at his compound in South Florida. Mike and Shannon then, in their spare time, they bag and tag all of those, and then they ship those out. The one caveat to that is, for the first time, we had kind of the backwards pre-sale where we had metal signs. We had skate decks. Well, the skate decks we just got. We had the banners. We had some of the stuff because we readied all of that for mini nats. So if you ordered like a banner for the first time, the stuff is going to ship pretty quick. If you ordered the stickers, same thing. The only exception to the quick ship on this pre-sale was going to be the hoodies, the zip-ups, the tank tops, and the shirts. So basically the garments, if you will. But rest assured, at this point, it looks like sometime early, hopefully early, maybe mid, but early to mid June, that stuff will ship. If you ordered a skate deck, or if you want to, you can go out to ourlifestylepodcast.com. You can order it. Now, the skate decks, I know the shipping's a little bit higher than you would want. It's higher than we would want. But you got to remember, we're kind of a smaller operation, so we can't just give the free shipping away like these bigger companies can. So when you look at some of that, just know the skate decks sell out pretty quick. You can order online and we'll ship it. And again, I know the shipping's a little bit high, but we price our decks, from what I've been told, the cheapest price point in kind of the truck scene. So we do try to keep that affordable. And then if you have to splurge a little bit for the shipping, we understand and we thank you for that. Now, if you can't, or let's say you don't want to buy it through the mail, you don't want Mike and them to ship it, we will be at Scraping the Coast, and we have our biggest order of skate decks ever. We have re-upped some of the old school ones like Ballistic and so on and so forth, and I've got a couple special requests. If there's one that you really want and you haven't had a chance to get it, make sure you send us an email, ourlifestylepodcast@gmail.com. If you got me on Facebook, you can let me know as well there. But the key thing is we don't re-up a lot of these all the time. So I had a special request from one of the homies in Cali. And what we did is, even though we were placing a big order, I had him, also Joey at Get Decked, of course, had him make a couple onesie twosies. That way people can get the ones that they want. So we certainly appreciate it. Now, big announcement for everyone, okay? A little bit unexpected to some, I'm sure. But what we're going to do, now that we're getting to the summer, we have a lot going on. And what I'm going to do, I talked to Mike about this, is we're going to make the executive decision. We are going to go bi-weekly for now, okay? So what that means is, and I kind of had this in my head, was with this episode that's going to drop, if you're a day one listener, you're going to hear this on 5/20, which was typically the Showfest weekend. Next weekend kicks off Memorial Day weekend. Okay, so, for all of those that we've lost with Memorial Day weekend, it's a big weekend here in the United States. And I always like to, thank those that we've lost. And I always also like to reinforce that Memorial Day is an American holiday, and it's observed on the last Monday of May, honoring the men and women who died while serving in the U.S. military. That's important because I think a lot of times, folks get it mixed up with like Veterans Day and stuff. I'm sure I did when I was younger as well. But for those that lost their lives while serving, salute to them. Mike and I really appreciate, everybody that has served. We've talked to a lot of service members that listen to the podcast and that are just mini truckers in general, that, did their service, and some are still in the service. So tip of the cap to you guys. But so what that means is, starting with a week after this Friday, we won't have an episode. Okay. And the couple of reasons. One is kind of just to balance the family stuff. I'm constantly back here working, researching, doing all this stuff. And I do it for a reason, because I like doing it. It keeps my mind off of other stuff, right? It keeps my mind on a positive track, thinking of my pops in a good way and hustling and trying to get all these stories out. I mean, there's still, believe it or not, there's still a big list of people that we want to have on. I know some of you are thinking, well, man, this is the second week in a row, no guest. And it's just the way things have been falling. Just the pedal's been stomped in a lot of ways. But what we're going to do is by having it bi-weekly, at least for the summer, that will allow people to kind of get caught up. For those that say, man, I can't even keep up. There's so many. That's a good thing in my mind. But it also allows us to kind of align with some of the guests that we want to have on, because there's some great people. I mean, people that have made a huge impact in our truck scene. And that's really what I want to get out. I want to get those stories out. I want to talk to those people. So this is going to help tremendously, and it's going to allow for me to also work on some other things. Now, even though I say that, we'll sometimes hear people, I've seen some comments, and I don't take these in a negative way. They go, man, but I thought we got to keep the pedal stomped, Absolutely. There are some things I'm working on behind the scenes that I've been working on for a while to expand the OLP universe, right? To do more. And with that, it might mean that OLP, I don't want to say it's going to stay did I say bi-monthly earlier or bi-weekly? That's where I'm going. Bi-weekly is like basically every 2 weeks. I'm not saying that it will stay every 2 weeks. It might be 3 a month. It might go back to 4 a month easily once we start ramping up these guests. But it'll at least allow for the summer for us to get past that. But then it gives me the time to work on some of the other things again to expand that universe, to get more YouTube content out there, to scan more magazines, to scan more features, to dig up more photos and things like that. And that's what I want to continue to do. But I also have to balance my family life as well. My son's last day of school actually is next Thursday, the 26th. And my wife has that day off, and she has the 27th off. So I said, you know what? I haven't taken a day off, just like a family day, in a long time. Most of my days are scheduled for shows, right? But what I'm going to be doing is taking the 27th off, so that's going to be a little bit of relief next week, not to have to line up and do all the work that I got to do to get the episodes out. But I would still record, hopefully. I'm working with the guests now. That's going to be mega big time that I'm just so excited about. And when I say big time, I mean within our scene. I mean, he's just a great dude. And that would allow for me to get it ready for hopefully 6/3. Okay, so June 3rd. But enough with that. I appreciate all the support. And, I would always encourage people, we talk about the mental health. I mean, I think that's a big thing. And I know, like me, like I'm just like constantly thinking about trucks and Lincolns and things I want to do and how do I expand the OLP universe and that type of stuff. I've talked to some of you guys about it, but what I would leave you guys with is, there's good stuff to come. Okay, we're even though I'm going to peel back a little bit here for the summer, that's going to allow for me to hopefully work on my Lincoln. I'm anxious for Jimmy to bag it. I want to get it to a couple shows. I've been working on the electrical in my shop. And some of that stuff you can go on our Lifestyle Podcast YouTube page, and you can see the videos that I produced for like shop, the part 1 and part 2 of me doing the electrical in my at-home shop. Those are also things I want to do. We're getting closer and closer every day to our 4,000 minutes watched, which is one of the 4 check marks that you got to get on YouTube to start monetizing. And I just have so many ideas there for like a spinoff of our Lifestyle Podcast and things that will live there in YouTube land. So stick with us. It's not the end. It's just the beginning. So the podcast updates brought to you by Graphics Mafia. We typically talk about these guys at the front, but they're great people. GRAPHIX Mafia.com. You can also reach out to Buddy and Ryan. Their last name is Richardson. We don't talk about that enough. They're on Facebook. They have helped out a lot of shows, a lot of enthusiasts, showgoers, and different brands that need stickers. I've got an old sticker that I had them take Colorado Custom windshield banner, and they reproduced it. They scanned it. They reproduced it in the colors that I wanted. They're great people. They can do a lot, and they have great service. So hit up Buddy or Ryan. They're on Instagram. They're on Facebook. Send them a DM. GRAPH. That's Graphics with an X. Mafia. So last week we were given the belated Happy Mother's Day. So hopefully everyone enjoyed the awesome time with their family. I know that's a great holiday, and it's tough for some that have lost their moms. And, piggybacking off of what I said a minute ago, my mom, she's in her mid-60s, and she watches or she's raising my niece. And, I'm trying to spend more and more time with her. And, a lot of people had asked me, man, I'm surprised you didn't make it up to Battle in Bama. And, Mike and I talked about Battle in Bama earlier, but it also is that work-life balance. Not only did I have a family friend who you'll see in the video if you watch it on YouTube that's helping me, I was able to pull a homeowner permit for my shop, and he's helping me as a friend wire the shop. So, this past weekend, I was focused on that because the last time we had worked on it was the weekend before mini nats. So, I had mini nats, and then I had a wedding rental I had to do, and then, before you knew it, it was, May already. So it was pretty cool that Fred was able to come over. We made a huge dent in that second day of work. But, I also have to, like I was saying earlier, I have to balance that because as my mom gets older, I want to spend more time with her. We've been going through a lot of things with trying to get the house updated and some things fixed there. So it was cool this past weekend, after we had worked in my shop, we did a real solid day's work, and then we went over and went swimming, got Preston together with one of his good buddies, and just got the kids out of the house, and that's really important to me. So that's part of the Airhead Nation updates, I guess you could say. And I got to give a huge shout out in this Airhead Nation update to Jeremiah Johnson's son. He says, happy birthday to the guy right here, Chandler Lawrence. I love you, buddy, and I hope you have a fabulous birthday, is what he goes on to say. And thank you for being such a cool kid / adult, LOL. Jeremiah Johnson, I call him JJ. Good dude. Man, he's in that pack with Blake and Tim Davis, and those guys are just tremendous dudes, and it's cool to see Jeremiah's son getting so big. Cool photo, and that pizza looked good, man. Did you save me a slice, JJ? Did you save me one, man? Come on, man. That looks good. Those are the Airhead Nation updates for this week, and we want to thank Hammered Weekend Wear, HAMMERD, weekendwear.com. Man, what an awesome company. They just announced they're going to have some killer skate decks. If you're at Relax It in the Park St. Louis this weekend, you talk about skate decks and collecting them. They've got 3 that they announced, and I think 2 surprise decks that they're going to have at Relax It in the Park this weekend. Go by the booth. Let the team know that Our Lifestyle Podcast sent you. You never know. They might just hook you up. All right, so as I kind of wind it down here, I did name this one Summertime because, again, Memorial Day weekend, which is right upon us. This will be the last episode before Memorial Day weekend. It's, in the U.S., it's kind of that kickoff to the summertime. And if you know me, that's one of my all-time favorite songs. Of course, Home Base was the 4th studio album from DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. The album was released in 91, and it's a classic to me in terms of that song. Now, all the songs on there, I remember having the cassette as a kid, which I still have, and, there were songs I liked, like Ring My Bell and things like that. Cannot forget the one which was Who Stole the DJ. But, I called this one Summertime because, again, we're kicking that time off. And, if you think about the good times that you had when you were growing up, a lot of us have those same feelings now with our kids where we're getting ready to go on maybe some road trips. We're maybe going to go on a vacation. We're going to go down here in Florida to the beach. I love getting out on the water. It's one of my favorite pastimes growing up. My parents had an old school boat, and we would take it out, and they would water ski. And as I got older, I was kneeboarding and, riding the tube. And that's what some of the things I was doing with my son last week. And it's just a good feeling that sun beating on you, a cold drink in hand. It sounds like a country song, and just having a damn good time. So that's really what I'm stoked about. I know Mike doesn't listen to the podcast, at all. So I'm probably going to be able to stump him. The reason why I brought up the Home Base DJ Jazzy Jeff Summertime, I always think in my mind that song came out for some reason in 1989, which is kind of funny. Again, the album was released in 91, and Summertime was released a couple of months before then, before the album came out. But I knew that I wanted to cover a couple of things about 1989 to tie into our 289 number. Something I learned recently about that song, though, even though it wasn't released in 89, which my mind thinks it was, that beat for that song, Summertime, was originally given to Rakim. Now, someone had commented on that on one of my posts on my Instagram, BD94S10. And at first I was like, I had never heard that. So if you start digging around and you Google Summertime beat Rakim, you will see that there's an article, Ambrosia for Heads. Rakim addresses the rumors that he wrote DJ Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince Summertime. For 25 years, there's been a long-standing question and some rumors surrounding DJ Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince's biggest hit, Summertime, the 91 Top 5 Jive Zomba record single from home base showcased a different flow from the West Philadelphia, Pennsylvania MC known as Will Smith. Many speculated that the Grammy Award winner had consulted with Rakim, then the duo, of course, as you guys know, Eric B. and Rakim, for the would-be platinum single. Earlier in the year, Eric B. Spoke about the song. The veteran DJ, producer, music executive told Combat that the music basis of Summertimes emerged out of a session for Eric B. and Rakim's their 1990 album, Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em. And it kind of goes in there. It says he recounted the creative differences between Rakim and him surrounding the LP. I remember I did a record in the studio, and other producers went back behind my back and told Rakim, "Yo, Ra, that record is soft. You shouldn't do it." The record turned out to be done by Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince. It turned out to be Summertime. That's the record I did. The engineer went up and played it for them. In the March interview, Combat asked if that is why Will Smith apparently rapped like Rakim on the 91 Jive Records platinum hit. Eric says, "Yes, exactly. Neither half of the duo has ever been credited in the Will and Jeff's record." So very interesting. Like when I hear that song, it transports me back 30 years. Last year was the 30th anniversary of it, but I can't, in my mind, being a hip hop guy, like I can't think of Rakim, rapping over it. Now we do know that Ice Cube went on to have It Was a Good Day. DJ Pooh produced it, or Today Was a Good Day, and a lot of people said at that time, man, you don't want to make a record that's like soft like this. And Cube was like, look, this is, whether I'm gangster or not, I mean, gangsters have good days, and on this day, everything's good, right? So to me, it's one of his biggest hits, if not his biggest hits ever. And I love that song. Who doesn't love it? The video, the song, everything rides on it. So I wonder if that version with Rakim rhyming on it, if it was ever made, would have been Rakim sounding, would have been like a Cube, type deal where it's like, hey, things are good, life is good, or what that song would have come about. Of course, nothing manifested from it, so I assume there's no verse or anything like that, but it is interesting. If you want to find more out about that, you can obviously Google and find it. So the few things I'll cover for 89, I remember being, I can remember exactly where I was at opening baseball cards. At that time, me being born in 78, you think like 10, 11, 12-year-old kids, I mean, the baseball cards were our lives. I remember opening specifically, Topps baseball card packs, and I can still vividly remember those exact cards, what they look like, because when we collected cards, each year was a little bit different. I remember the hard-ass gum that was in the card, the cards when you opened them. And ironically enough, as years went by and the card industry just went, took a nosedive, I never thought it would rebound. But it is insane today that the card market has rebounded, and there's people that are collecting and getting them, of course, graded and all of that stuff. I think it's pretty cool. One of the other things I can recount was the World Series earthquake that struck San Francisco Bay Area. That, I forget if it was Canseco, if he was up to bat, and then boom, all of a sudden you see the earthquake. So that was insane. I remember Exxon Valdez disaster. That kind of changed the oil industry, forever in a lot of ways. Those were a couple things I could think of. If Mike was on, I would give him a hard time, about Batman, although he did good answering it. I did look it up, and Batman was the highest grossing film, and many of us love that movie. It brings us back to that awesome time. The pilot episode of Seinfeld aired on NBC. The Simpsons premiered on Fox, and I do remember this. That was such a cool time because, for a lot of us, we had the shirts with Bart Simpson, Eat My Shorts. We had the posters, which I have a poster now thanks to Pinstripe and Mikey. And, just a great era of, being in school, being in middle school, for me, playing Nintendo, just all of that cool stuff that kind of went with that era. The only other stuff, San Francisco 49ers were the Super Bowl champs. Oakland Athletics won the World Series, and the Calgary Flames clinched the Stanley Cup. Pete Rozelle announced that he was retiring from football and that Pete Rose was banned for baseball for life for gambling, which is crazy, right? It's still there, but that's, I think, all I got. And I know, again, I certainly appreciate everyone sticking with us and understanding kind of we're just going to shift a little bit for the summer, try to spend some time with the fam. And, yeah, I think that's about what we've got. We'll hit you guys, I guess, I want to say next week, but in 2 weeks. And just know that in the last almost 7 years, we did halfway, the halfway mark, we did 3.5 years straight, basically. So pretty cool stuff. I'm proud of that. Stay on the rise, and we'll hit you again in 2 weeks. Be safe. Spread the word. OLP is not going anywhere. Gotcha. Peace.